Yeah.
Okay, so let's start. It is right at 6:30, and I want to continue where we left off, which was the basic skills exercise, much more the language stuff than the reading. We left off on page 95. So you guys all have that in front of you, page 95. Everyone's got page 95. So they give us a couple samples again, and the first one, you are identifying which one of these has an error in it for sample D, and sample E, you're trying to replace the underlined part of the sentence with the best one. So let's go over that first. Let's just start with Rachel. Do you want to do the sample D for us? You're going to try to find the one that has the error in it.
So I'm looking for the wrong one?
Yeah. Or you're looking for the right one. Sorry, not looking for the error. You're looking for the right one. So 3 of them are going to be wrong. 1 will be right. Why don't you read them out loud and give us your reaction so we can follow you?
Okay. A, did you remember to print?
Okay. Did you remember to bring your volleyball? Go ahead.
I like having our annual picnic at the park.
Actually, you're looking for the mistake on this. Sorry, it didn't say it. I was trying to figure it out. Keep going.
Seeing Mark and Kelly laughed at the planned performance. The picnic started at noon, but many people came.
So you're looking for the error. Did you notice an error there, Rachel?
See?
And why C? She should be capitalized, yes. So this is all about the capitalization punctuation. Isabel, can you read E for us?
My aunt took us all hiking on the mountain. She showed us wildflowers and birds there. The answer is H.
Yeah, this should be a period because it's basically a run-on sentence and it just continues and continues without the period. The period is most appropriate here. These are asking us to look for the best revisions here. Choose the answer that shows the best capitalization and punctuation. Let's go with Deborah for 21.
For 21, I'd say it's A.
Okay, and why A?
Because the science club sponsor is not a needed adjective phrase, so we just put it off.
Right, she's saying that basically you're using a comma right after Miss Braithwaite, and you're saying that she's described by the phrase the science club sponsor. So it needs kind of like a comma in front as well as in back, kind of like parentheses. That's what it's acting as. How about 22, Alexandra?
Okay, so the newspaper has a great picture of the winning team announced back. Not the first one, because you need quotation marks.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the second one. It's H because it's not actually correct as it is. You need a comma to try and set it off, or else it's like.
Or to end the quotation.
Like, yeah.
To end the quotation before you attribute who did the announcement, you need that comma, end the quotation, announced back, right? Because you're acknowledging who said it. All right. Let's go to 23. Maxwell, are you ready, or should I go to the other? Okay, Maxwell, 23.
A.
Okay, and why A?
Because you usually don't use a semicolon for that, nor do you use a colon, and the comma works between tickets and shield.
The reason why we use a comma is it's pausing the question and then it's attributing who the question is directed to. Semicolons only separate 2 independent clauses, basically 2 sentences. Colons should be used kind of like an equal sign that sets off a list. The following are my favorites, colon, A, B, and C. That's kind of how you should use a colon. How about 24, Brian?
H, because the first word has to be capitalized in a quotation.
Yes. When you open a quote, it needs to have a capitalized letter. That is good. Okay, good. Let's keep on going with this. Let's go with Jacob 25. You want to do that one? You got to find which one is written correctly and shows the correct capital. So that means 3 of them are wrong.
So B is not correct because you need a comma.
Mm-hmm.
You know. D is also incorrect because instead of a semicolon, we need a comma.
Okay. So B and D are out.
A is the correct answer.
A is the right one. This one, C doesn't work because it needs a second comma. If it's going to open up a parenthetical phrase according to the newspaper, it needs to end with a comma after newspaper. So C is out. A is your best answer on that one. Let's go back to Rachel, 26.
I've written J
Okay, tell us why J.
because for the other one, they put the quotation marks at the wrong place.
Okay, for F. Okay.
And then for G, it's supposed to go after the punctuation.
Right.
Same with H,
What's wrong with H?
or it's supposed to go after the period.
Right. It needs it after the quotation marks after the period. Correct. And let's go to 27 on this one, Isabel.
I put C.
C is right. Tell us why.
The others either have wrong punctuation.
Specifically, what punctuation's off?
A doesn't have a
Apostrophe.
apostrophe for she.
Uh-huh.
B, there's not supposed to be an apostrophe for strokes.
Correct.
And the apostrophe for D isn't where it's supposed to be.
Right. It should be after the N, not the S. Okay. I'm going to just say this. In conversation, we get away with using words in a way that we've condensed them into like casual, like I haven't done this or I didn't do that. But when it comes to writing essays, as you get into high school and eventually college, you probably will not use those kind of shortened versions. You will not use as many apostrophes. Abbreviated versions are probably not going to be as acceptable. They want the full words. So that's what I would say. That's kind of the difference between formal written essays versus, conversation where you can get away with it. And on that note, I'm going to share with you one of my biggest pet peeves of using abbreviated words. You want to hear it? My biggest pet peeve is when I see someone write this or say this, but I see it a lot more written. I'll write it in here and see if you guys notice it. Is everyone's okay, Brian? What's wrong with this?
This is supposed to be that. Wait, no, could
It's
have.
not that.
Plus I have.
Have. Do you know why people make this mistake? They hear it because when you abbreviate, it would look like this. Could have, right? But because we abbreviate in conversation, oh, I could have done that, right? Some people, when they're writing, I've seen this on social media, they'll write, I could have. That makes me feel like someone is scratching a chalkboard with their nails. Like, that's the worst thing when I hear it. I'm like, oh, that's so terrible. Okay. How many of you guys were like, I didn't see anything wrong with it?
That makes it logical.
I know. So I've had people who write that and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Okay. If you read a lot of stuff online, some people they write, oh, I could have. I'm like, okay, kill me now. All right. Let's continue. I just thought of that because these are abbreviated. But Deborah, 28, what happened here?
Well, F, the L should be capitalized.
That's right.
G, it looks fine. H, there's no punctuation after Kai's. J, love isn't supposed to be capitalized.
Right. It's a continuation of the quote. So that one's a mistake there. Let's go to 29, Alexandra.
29. Okay, so for A, for class, what is the name of that musician? There isn't anything inherently wrong with that. Then this one, the quotation mark is like way too far.
Really?
And
Wait.
B, and for C, the T in that should be.
You mean the
capitalized.
quotation should have been after the word before?
Yeah.
I mean after
After the word
the
before,
comma. After the comma.
Before comma. I mean before ask.
But you know what the issue with A? Did anybody notice something with A? On 29. Yeah, Deborah?
Oh, no comma. There's no comma after ask.
You need to have a comma after asked. Okay. So that takes that one out. And then keep going, Alexandra. Do you notice the others?
And then, like this one,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it has a comma and that's kind of weird, but I guess it's the right answer.
C? Does everyone
No,
agree
D.
C? Oh, okay. What's wrong with C?
T should be capitalized.
That's right. Okay, and then D is okay.
Yeah.
All right. I thought you were talking about C because I didn't hear that. All right, let's go with Maxwell 30.
The world's not familiar with the red hat. The river guide is wrong because there's no comma between hat and there.
Yes. Okay, that's
Jeff
fine.
Crichton, the photographer, set up his cameras at the rapids. There's no comma between Crichton and the.
Okay.
Kate and Lily, her little sister, wore life jackets and helmets for the trip. That's right. And Jay, their favorite part of the trip was a giant staircase, a big set of rapids. There's no comma between staircase and up.
That's right. Exactly. So H is your best one. Okay, let's keep going on this. This is what I'm going to do because, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. But well, in a second, I'm going to let you guys do all these. But let's go to 31 here. We'll have Brian do that one.
A is wrong because the semicolon is supposed to be a comma.
Okay.
B, having created origami figures for many years isn't a sentence. It's the period is supposed to be a comma.
Good.
Taking this origami class, B and I are learning about Japanese culture.
Okay.
It's not because it should be him and wait now. Yeah, him and I instead of.
Is it him and I? Him and I should never go together. There's a song. Okay, here's another one of those moments where I feel like a chalkboard is being scratched. There's a song on the radio right now called Him and I, and whenever I hear that, I feel like the grammar is wrong. Why is the grammar wrong on that? Correct. Brian's been listening to the radio. He said him and I. Huh?
It's not on the radio.
Oh, it's probably that's the only way I hear
What
it.
is it? Like by who?
It should be he and I, or it should be him and me, but it should not be him and I. You know what song I'm talking about? I don't know who the singer is. I think I'm gonna write to her on Twitter and tell her that her grammar's wrong so she can change it.
Is she the one that complained about hotel shampoo being racist?
Is it? I use that whenever I'm upset. If I say, but anyways.
Wait, you use that hotel shampoo is racist?
No, I use Twitter whenever I'm upset and I write to people. No, I'm kidding.
Honestly,
I'm not gonna do that.
Twitter has become a wasteland of
Terrible
conflicting
stuff.
opinions
Junk.
and far right and far left views.
But does everybody see why I called it out on that? Continue, Brian. I just wanted to go on that tangent because I can't stand that song.
C is wrong because there's not supposed to be a comma.
Let me go back to where. See, we don't need the commas. Taking this origami class, comma, then he and I are learning. That's the comma should have been after class.
D is right.
Yes, that is the right answer on that. This is slightly different, but I'm not gonna slow us. I think I should have just let you guys do those, and we could have reviewed it, but this is slightly different where they give you a paragraph and they have underlined portions that they will ask questions. So choosing answers that show the best capitalization and punctuation. Go ahead and do this for a minute. We'll go over these starting at number 32. So go ahead and do those. If you want, you can go all the way to 40 and then we'll go over them together. So you can go 32 to 40 and we'll go over them together. Sorry. Okay, you guys almost at 40? No, still working on it. Okay. Don't go past 40, just stop at 40. You guys ready? Okay. Let's just go over these. As you can tell, they were put in paragraph form, so it's slightly different than when it's just a singular sentence. For 32, let's go with Jacob, number 32.
Answer for number 32 is G.
Okay, and tell us why.
For F, it would just be a run-on sentence, so it doesn't work. And then for H, it's not a question, so then it doesn't work. And then, so I don't think J is correct either, because it doesn't look right to me, so I pick G.
J is not correct because it's a run-on also. Yeah, so G is the best one. It should be two separate sentences. How about 33? Let's go to Rachel. What did you choose here?
B,
B is right. Tell us why.
because it's like a list of adjectives, so.
It is a list, so they need to be separated by commas, which is right. And since they're not one word describing the other, the commas would separate them. That would be the right answer on that. How about 34, Isabel?
It would be F,
That's right, and tell us why.
because if it's capital or capitalized, it's not really a proper noun,
Right.
so it can't.
They're not trying to say there's a company of animals named the Animal Company or whatever it is, right? So, okay. Deborah, 35.
I said A,
And why?
develop the answer is structure what, well, what is. What B, it would not be correct because it's capitalized B, it's capitalized bank, and she didn't say anything incorrect. This is, well, it tells more about the word, so it's vital, so you don't need to put it off with commas.
Right, that comma there creates a pause that's unnecessary because this person, Serafina, explained what she wanted to learn. It's continuous. It doesn't need a comma at all on that one. Okay, good. The second one here is, it's not really a paragraph, but rather a letter. They're testing us both on the content, grammar, as well as capitalization, punctuation. So let's go to 36. Alexander, what'd you get at 36?
I chose F because I do not know. It's because I was never trained in what to do in case of a letter.
It might be a different answer. Did anyone get a different answer on this one?
It's G. I know that it's G, but
Okay, now you know it's G. So what made G more appropriate than F? Did Maxwell, you want to help out on that? Because she's kind of like, right. It needs to be capital for box. P and O both need abbreviation. It means post office. And then box just needs to be capital.
why?
That's just the formal way of doing it. Remember, we're going by the most formal rules. Of course, somebody who wants to just go lowercase is not going to get docked by the post office. They're not going to go, I'm sorry, that's only 75% correct. I'm not sending it. They're going to send it, but in school, these are just things that they want us to do correctly, which is capitalize. So that's what that
This
is.
is obsolete.
Well, a lot of things like this are obsolete. The post office, as a corporation, even though it's owned by the federal government, is losing money by the day because people are not sending mail. They're just hitting email or texting. That is killing the post office, basically.
Well,
But let's go to the next. I'm going to go to Brian for 37.
I don't know why they're testing out something that's almost entirely obsolete, but
Let's go with Brian here. Brian.
I chose A.
A is correct. It needs a comma, needs to be capitalized for Oregon. Nowadays, people don't even write out the state, they just write OR, right? Should be just that, but. Number 38, Jacob. H, dear superintendent, what's the difference between using a colon and comma? Maxwell?
Colon for business line.
Right, and a comma is more casual, right? How about 39, Rachel?
Is it A?
A is correct. Help me get ready to, of course, it's very informal language. And then 40, what do you do with that, Isabel?
I put G.
G. Yours truly, that's fine. You don't need to capitalize the truly part. That's correct. So one thing I was going to ask you guys, just out of trivia, because Alexandra brought something up. She said, hey, this is so outdated. But I'm just going to ask you guys, have you ever written a letter and at the end of the letter, you're like, oh, shoot, I forgot to add something. What do you do when you forgot to add something? Correct. So what does PS stand for, Brian?
Postscript.
That is correct. It means postscript. A lot of you guys probably go, dude, I don't write letters. If I want to write to my grandmother, I just email her or text her. Okay? If I forget something, I just send another text. How many of you guys have written to your grandmothers?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been forced to.
I was about shocked for a moment. You guys are like, no, I don't write
But
like
I also
that.
live like really close to her.
But that's
so
really
I
good.
don't have the need to write to her all the time.
Do you write real letters or do you just go, hey, grandma, I'll take you later at lunch? Send.
No, so like one grandma lives in New York and the other one lives like here, so I have to like write letters in Russian to both of them because they're like,
Wow.
oh, you need to value old Russian like values. And I don't know. I find it kind of
That's classic
but it's
accent.
nice.
I want to learn that. That's
it's
so unique. Okay. Very good. Very good. What I would say is this. Since we have been doing this, this is sentence completion on this side. Let's do the sample ones real quick. For the first one, it's a sentence completion, but this is based on spelling for F. And the second one, this is just, finding the one that is misspelled on G. So let's go with Deborah. You want to tell us the correct spelling for the one in F?
Oh well, 41 or F. Oh,
Yeah.
the committee. It's D.
Is it D?
B.
It is B. I know it's tempting to have two M's, two T's, two E's, but in this case, it's just one T. There's only one word I can think of that has a lot of doubles. It's the word Mississippi. M-I-S-S-I-P-P. Wait, M-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. Wait, Mississippi. Wait, there's two sets. M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. There you go. 3 sets of doubles. Mississippi.
Who created these names?
Mississippi, I don't know. Okay, let's go to G here. Alexandra, which one is spelled wrong?
F.
That is right. It should be inspector with an O.
Yeah.
Why don't we do this? Everyone do 41 to 46. We'll talk about it. Actually, go all the way to 52 or no, just go to 49. 49. Those are all similar. 49.
Here's a photo of my guinea pig.
Does he have a name?
Yes. His name's Peach.
Peach.
Yes.
Okay.
I have Peach in short. It's important for people to see the glory of guinea pigs.
Everybody ready? 41 to 49? These should have been pretty easy. Let's start with Maxwell. Do you want to tell us what you chose for 41?
D.
Diesel is, best spelled there. 42, Brian? H, mathematical is best spelled. Okay. 43, Jacob. That is correct. 44, Rachel.
H.
H is right. 45, Isabel.
D.
That's correct. 46, Deborah.
J.
J is correct. Okay, good. Let's keep going. And then 47, Alexandra. A is correct. Maxwell, 48. F is correct. And then 49, Brian.
B.
B is correct. All right, everyone go 50 through 60.
To which number?
Just to 60. If you start to see math, then don't continue. Everyone ready? Let's go over these real quick. So I think I left off with, who did I leave off with on this one? Was that for 49? Who did I have? That was Brian. Okay, so Jacob, you want to read 50 for us? What'd you get? F is correct. All right, and then let's go to Rachel, 51. D is correct. And then 52, Isabel.
F.
Yes, that's right. It needs an S in there for conscious. Right. And then Deborah. Does everyone agree that it's E here? Brian?
C, because bathroom is supposed to have 1 C and 2 U's.
2 U's, right. Okay. Let's go to 54, Alexandra. J, universally needs 2 L's. 55, Maxwell.
E.
All are correct. 56, Brian.
G.
Yeah, happening. It doesn't need the 2 N's. 57, Jacob. E. Does everyone agree with that? Brian?
It's B, because there's not supposed to be
Right. Herding is different from, herded with an A. That's listening. How about 58, Rachel?
Okay.
J? What's wrong with J? Zealous is okay. So the answer actually was all correct on that one. So 59, Isabel. A is unexpected. Doesn't need 2 N's there. Okay. 60, Deborah.
J.
Thoroughly. This one doesn't need the U in front of the R. It should be after the second O. All right. And then this math, I feel like it's so easy. I'm not even going to do the samples with you guys. I just want you guys to go 61 through 67. It's pretty easy. 61. Are we ready? Just about? Okay. Let's just go through these real quick. I think I left off with, I don't know who I left off with. Was it Deborah, the last one thoroughly. Okay, Alexandra, what'd you get for 61?
B.
B is correct. It should be 4. Maxwell, 62. G is correct. 3,602.38. And then Brian, 63.
B.
B is correct. Lucas, Jacob, I keep messing up your name because I have nephews with those names. I keep messing it up. Okay, Jacob, yeah. It is F, that is right. F. And then 65, Rachel.
E.
D is correct. 66, Isabel.
J.
Hold on. It should be, hold on a second. What did I get on this? J is right, yeah. And then Deborah, 67 on this one.
A.
A is right, 6 and 4/15. Okay, good. So this is pretty straightforward. This is what I want to do. I know that I gave you those math sheets. I'm going to come back to those. What I want to do is go back to the practice test that you guys did. I graded most of it, but I'm going to just go over the answers again because I know that I wasn't able to finish those, and I make sure everybody got these. And I think Jacob did this for homework. So, and I think for Maxwell, I didn't get yours. The practice test started on page, hold on a second, 59. It says big day in the slopes. Big day in the slopes. Page 59. Okay. You guys are page 59, yes. I think we did. I gave it back to you. Well, you never turned it in. Page 59. Say, big day in the slopes is what it should say. You have it. That's the one you're talking about. What did I say? Big day in the slopes. You should have it. Because you never turned it back. You came in late, and then you didn't turn it in. So I graded everybody else's for yours. You have it, Brian? Big day in the slopes. Big day in the slopes. 59, 59. Yes, yes, yes. Maxwell, you're the only one who didn't turn it in. That's what I know. We just look at the bottom of the page, 51 or 59. Good. That's good. I gave it back to everyone. Yours is you came in late the other day, so I never even received it from you. Because you came in late the other day. I don't even have yours. 59. It should say big day in the slopes. That's not it. That's not it. No. That's not it. I don't know what yours is. Because I turned it back into everybody else. I don't know what to tell you. And I definitely don't have yours. Because I'm looking here and I don't see it. All right, what I'm gonna do is read this off to everybody. I don't know if you put it somewhere or anything like that, but all right. You're just gonna have to write the answer or something like that. Okay, I'm just gonna read these off again. For most of you guys, I graded it and handed it back to you. Number 1 was B, 2 was H, 3 was D, 4 was G, 5 is C, 6 is F, 7 was D, 8 was G, 9 is D. Jacob, you should be grading because you're the only one without it. 10 is H, 11 is B, 12 is H, 13 was A, 14 was H, 15 was B, 16 J, 17 is B, 18 was J, 19 is C. 20 is H, 21 D, 22 G, 23 A, 24 J. 25 is D, 26 is D. I'm sorry, 25 is D, 26 is H, 27 B, 28 is F, 29 C, 30 was J, 31 is C, 32 is G, 33 was A, 34 H, 35 was A, 36 is G, 37 C, 38 is H, 39 was A, 40 was G, 41 is C, 42 is G, 43 was A. Are we reaching a point of things where I didn't grade? I still see people. No? Okay, keep going. 44 is H, 45 D. So the only person actively writing stuff is Jacob on this. 46 is H, 47 B, 48 is F, 49 D, 50 is J, 51 B, 52 F, 53 C. 54 is J, 55 is B, 56 is G, 57 is D, 58 is G, 59 is B, 60 is H, 61 should be B, 62 is F, 63 C, 64 is G, 65 is D, 66 is G, 67 is C, 68 is G. Are we at a point where it's not graded or not? Okay.
Yeah.
69 is B, 70 is H, 71 B, 72 is H. 73 is D, 74 is G, 75 is C, 76 is J, 77 is B, and that was it. So I know that there's parts of it that I didn't completely grade, but were you guys able to catch those, or did you guys need me to repeat any of those? Okay, we're going to go back to the beginning of this, and I'm just going to survey people and see if there were any that they wanted to go over really quickly. Starting, I'm just going to go page by page. Page 60, is there anything people wanted to review on 60? 60. 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. 66 or 65? Okay. Which one?
18. Looking like, do I?
18. This says, what would be the most important for the family to keep in mind when selecting? Well, they're talking about grandparents, right? And it says that they're unstable when they run, but they want to follow along, right? What did you choose here?
They said they wanted to follow along around good scenery.
Grandmother are a little unstable when they run, but they want to follow along with the others. Where's the scenery part that you're talking about?
The family wants to run. The family wants to run that will take them to the viewing point where they can see the city.
Yes, that tells you there's only two routes to the viewing point. The viewing point is the dot at the top right. So the two routes are either blue or red. All other routes are irrelevant, right? So the question is, since the grandparents want to go, but they're a little unstable, which one would you prefer, blue or red? If you look at the guide, the guide says the red is steep and bumpy, the blue is flat soil. So that would be the more appropriate one. Did anybody choose something different than that? The other routes don't necessarily lead to the city viewing point. So
Yeah, I messed up. I thought that they all did somehow, but
yeah, but the other ones were. I'm trying to find the other one, but yeah, I mean the smoothest one would be the blue one. That's what I would choose.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else on page 66? Okay. 67, 68, 69, 70.
wait, I have one for 69.
Page 69, yes. Which one was it?
25.
25 says which of these best combines 3 and 4? The answer was D. One of the brothers is Brian McCaffrey, who has recently become a fire investigator. If you go back to 3 and 4, 3 says one of the brothers is Brian McCaffrey.
Oh, wait,
Brian McCaffrey is.
I circled the wrong thing.
That one's kind of redundant as 2 separate sentences, yes. Was there anything else? 70, 71, 72. Yes, Isabel. 30 says, what does the poet probably mean by the last 2 lines of the poem? This is interesting. It says, it first must evaporate into the clouds before it can quench Earth's thirsty crowds. They're talking about water must evaporate, and usually from the clouds, that's where you get your rain, right? That's what they're saying. So, and then since it is thirsty crowds, if you wanted to, you could drink rainwater as opposed to ocean water, because ocean water is salty, and that's what they're saying in J on that one. Any others on? You had one, Alexander? Was it the same one?
No, I didn't. I was just stretching.
Okay. Continuing 75, 76. That's weird. Okay. 76, 77. I think it skips to 79, 80, 81, 82, 84 is a passage, 85, 86. No hands? Oh, that's Jacob, yes? Number 65 says, according to what you read, which of the statements would Cesar Chavez probably not support? And D is, some problems are best left for politicians to figure out. Cesar Chavez was a political, social kind of guy who was representing Mexican farmers. And so he was an activist, that's the best word. And so he's not a guy who's like, yeah, let the politicians figure it out. He's definitely not one of those people. So, page 87, no, 88, 89 is reading, 90. Yeah, Rachel. 76, choose the phrase that best describes Jennifer's approach to fundraising. The reason why the answer is J is this person, Jennifer, if you look at her, she's pretty proactive in doing this. And it says that she wrote a letter to a singer-songwriter, and then it says that she, made arrangements with the local businesses, and the event finally raised 100. She's like a go-getter. She's kind of like a person who saw no limits to what she could do. So that's why they said sky's the limit. What did you choose on this?
H.
Every little bit counts. Well, when the phrase every little bit counts is more somebody like, hey, we're putting on an effort, but we're not seeing a lot of progress, so every little bit counts. This girl raised 100,000, so she's pretty proactive. That's what I would say, and probably has a lot of confidence in herself. Okay, you guys did pretty well here. Everybody feels pretty confident with how they did on this. Okay, we didn't review too many of those. What I wanted to do was this, just real quick. We reviewed all of the math, right? Did we finish all that math the other day? We did. So, okay. I want to go back to the math section that I handed out to you just the other day. It's the one that you're on right now. You're working ahead, right? Which I would rather you not do, but this is page 40. It's page number 39. You have 39 here too. 39. This one. It should say Susan. Page 39. That's where we're going to go. Page 39. We're going to go to page 39. This is a math work set here that we'll do together. So I know that you guys are doing pretty well in general. I think if anything, on this second test that you guys did pretty well. So it's more just little mistakes that popped up. Is that right for most of you guys on this? As you can tell from what I said at the beginning of the Lowell test, it's not a hard test. It's just a matter of watching out for little errors. Some of them were like, should the word committee have 2 T's, 2 M's, and 2 E's, or something like that, right? That's one of those small things that we have to be careful with. For this math section, most of you guys were doing really, really well on the math. This is going to be a cruise for you guys. But they're basically on this page on 39 showing you conversions from centimeters to meters, millimeters to centimeters here. And they're just asking you, what did this person do? So for this one, I'm just going to start with Maxwell since he's been working on this, which on page 39, what happened here? Of the sample problem here.
She multiplied the sheep.
It says, which of these statements could explain her mistake? What is Susan's mistake here?
She multiplied it.
Right. Because 160 centimeters is not 16,000 meters. It's 1.6 meters, right? So she multiplied instead of dividing it. Okay. Let's go to the next page here. This is pretty straightforward stuff here. This is someone named Shanna who works at an Irvington Historical Society. Let's do number 1 here, Brian. You want to do that? Why don't you read it for us?
Shanna worked 8 hours on Sunday and was paid $52. How much will she be paid for working 10 hours at the same rate?
So what should we do here?
I divide 52 by 4, so you get how much money she earned in 2 hours, then multiply that amount by 5.
Okay. But she worked 8 hours. Why would you divide it by 4?
Well, because then you get like the amount of money she earned in 2 hours, and then you can multiply it that way.
Oh, I see what you did. You divided it further. So 52, he said divided by 4. That's 13. You're still going to get, I think he was trying to avoid wacky decimals there, but he still has to divide that by 2. And then what do you get here? 6.5. Multiply that by 10 hours here. You get 65, which is what here. You could either do what Brian did there, or you could have just from the get-go just divided by 8, and you would have gotten 6.5 because this is 48. 40, so that's where the 6 point. Either way, They both work, and you use this rate of 650 per hour, and you multiply it by 10 hours. And so 650 times 10 is $65 in 10 hours. So that would be the right answer on that. Let's go to Jacob, number 2. Tell us we'll read the question rather than giving us an answer.
In 1886, there are 20 workers at a certain number. When the size of the workforce increased by 10 people, the leader from 1887 to 1888. Which line on the graph correctly reflects this information?
Okay, and then your answer was
P.
Which is line
Q.
And white line Q.
Because you start off with 20 workers, so all the other ones except for P, Q, and S don't work. So then you add 10 every single year. So then it would go from 20 to 30, 30, 40, 40, 50, so on.
Yeah.
So then by 50.
Right. He's right in saying that P, Q, and S are the only ones we can look at because they start at 20. But like he said, increasing 10 a year, Q is the only one that does that. So that's correct. Let's go to number 3 with, let's go to Rachel, number 3.
One of the exhibits at the museum shows an old piece of foreign machinery. 2 years from the machine are shown at the right, which statement is true about these 2 years. But B?
Do they turn at the same rate? If one wheel is smaller than the other, they probably do not turn at the same rate. That's what I'm going to tell you. When they talk about rate, what they mean is a full revolution of the wheel. Since one is bigger, it would take a lot longer to complete a full revolution. The other one's smaller, so it's going to turn a revolution, meaning 300, it's going to turn faster than the big one, okay? The small one will turn faster. So your best answer here is A, which is the small gear turns twice every time the large gear turns once. B and C, totally wrong. C is the opposite, saying that the small gear turns once every time the large gear turns twice. That would be the opposite. D is a little bit extreme. Some people are wondering, how did we get twice versus 50? That's the bigger question. Does anybody want to take a stab at why A is better than D, Brian?
Because the smaller wheel is closer to like twice as small than 50 times as small.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's 50 times as small, and it looks like it's about half. It looks like the diameter of the small is the radius of the large. So it's probably a 2-to-1 ratio on that one. Okay, let's go to number 4. Isabel, you want to tell us what you would do with this?
The up top is that to G.
G is the best answer. This is just an overview, an aerial view. Correct. Let's go to number 5, Deborah.
In one exhibit, water flows from a tank that is in the shape of a rectangle prism to a cylindrical tank. What is the minimum volume the cylindrical tank can have to hold all the water from the first tank?
Okay.
Well, I would find the volume of the water inside the rectangular tank.
And that, what is the formula for volume?
Times width inside.
Right. And so what is the volume of the water?
20 times the 60 feet cubed.
Say that once more, Jen.
60 feet cubed.
Right, 60 feet. So basically, she said 3 is the height. She said the width is 10, and 2 is the length, which turns out to be 60 for the volume. That's right. And then that's your best answer there. It's not asking you to do too much. I don't know if you guys remember this math question, but this is very similar to that other packet that we did a while back with math. They're transferring from a rectangular cube into a cylindrical one. So that one was a little bit more complex because it was asking what is the height of the cylinder. Let's go to number 6 here, Alexandra.
J.
Well, read it to us. I'm not asking you guys to give me answers on this. I'm asking you guys to read the problem, and explain. That's what I'm asking you
A
guys to do.
school class of 13 girls and 12 boys is visiting one room of the Historical Society. If a boy walks out first, what is the probability that a girl will walk out next? So you add 13 and 12, you get 25. Since the boy already walked
Why do you
out,
add 13 and 12?
because that's like the entire amount of people.
Total students.
Like,
Okay. Okay. And then what happens?
then a boy walks out, so you have one less boy, so it's 11.
So you're subtracting one. So now instead of 25, you now have 24. Okay, continue.
Okay, so, and then you have 13 girls, and out of the like entire population of students, you can say that there are 13 girls, like 24 people. That's your probability.
Mhm. That's right. So I wanted to slow that down so everyone could see. We're no longer considering how many boys there are, but since one boy already left, it's only 24 students. So the desired result is a girl walking out, and the likelihood is 13 out of 24. That would be correct. One thing I will say is, in addition to doing this, sometimes you'll see answers and you're like, wait, that isn't right. You should simplify the numbers down to the lowest values. For this, you don't need to. Okay, let's go to the next page here. I'll have Maxwell read number 7 for us.
If y equals -4, in which of these equations does x equal 10? A, because -10 minus -4 is basically 10 plus 4, so it's 14.
Right. If x is equal to 10, this would be 10 plus 4, because when you have a negative, when you subtract a negative, that's a better way to say it, you're just going to add it. So that makes it A. Let's go to number 8. Brian, can you read that for us?
The table shows the weights of 5 different students. How many of these students weigh less than the average weight for this group?
What would you do first? Yeah.
Add all the weights up and then divide by 5.
Okay, so if you added them up, this might take a moment, and then divide by 5. So he's going to add all of these people's weights up. I'm going to write it up here. 74 plus 67 plus 95, 72, and 76. What did you get on that?
384.
384. So that's 384. They're looking for average, not median. A lot of students assume median and average are the same. They are not the same. Okay? Median is just a middle number, but average means you added them up and divided by the number of terms. So this is 384 divided by 5. What did you get, Brian? That's right, 76.8. That's an 8. Okay. And so our best answer here, it says how many of the students weighed less than 76.8? J is correct. This is 1, 2, 3. Hey, did I not write one of them? 76.8. Okay, there it is. Okay, 76.8. So it's 4 students who are less than the average. Okay, let's go to also, with this, you notice there's 4 numbers less than the average. That's kind of interesting because if it was median and there's 5 numbers, only 2 numbers would be less than. Does everybody see that? So that's why median and mean are not the same thing. If it was median, there would only be 2 numbers less than the median. Good. Let's go to number 9 here. Jacob? B is correct. 3 centimeters. The others are way too small, like 3 millimeters, or way too big. All right. Number 10, Rachel.
J.
J is correct. This one right here, what did you do?
Well, since 10 plus 8 is 18, then you would go to the next highest number, which is 13, because it's greater than 19.
Right. She basically plugged in numbers. It had to be greater than 19, and 8 plus 13 is 21. So Okay, let's go to 11 here. Isabel?
Which of these is a better way to write 6 to the power of 3?
And your best answer is C is correct. Okay. 12, Deborah?
If p equals 5 and q equals 1, let's develop this expression. Substitute p with 5 and q with 1. So 20 minus 2, that's 18, times 3, that's, wait a second.
I'm just plugging in the numbers. She's calculating as she plugs. But yes, she is right. This is 3, this is 20, this is 2, this is 12.
54 plus 12, 60.
This is 3 times 18 plus 12. She said 54 plus 12. And so she got 66. That is correct on that. Okay, good. So the answer is F, 66 on that one. Alexandra, do you want to read 13 for us?
Sure. This computer throws numbers. Michelle put out some numbers into the computer. Which of the tables below shows the results? So, like, it's squaring the numbers, so it's C.
That is the best one. The others are not squaring the numbers. A is getting smaller. B is random. And then D is doubling. So, okay, let's go with 14 here, Maxwell.
I chose J because
Well, read us the question. I'm not interested in just hearing the answers.
point P is between point Y and Z. Which of these does not contain point P? J because it's not, J because Y tip, X does not consist of the line between Y and Z.
Right, this is Y, this is Z, this is P. So the answer is J, which is YX. And that obviously does not include P. All right, good. All right, let's do this. This is the second section. Let's take a little break. It's about 7:37 right now on my watch. Let's take about 5 minutes or so like that, and then we'll just continue with this. Is that cool? All right.